Hi everyone. So I'll try to post this with some more verbiage down below, but basically I think people need to understand, if you live in a blue dominated state, then you think that when you elect people to represent you and they're Democrats, that you're actually their first priority, or maybe in their top 5. You're not. Their first priority is their party, and that's because the party is what helps them get elected. The next group is going to be people who fund them directly, and their public reputation is going to be probably third, because they can find ways to dodge truth or lie, but it's easier if they've got a bunch of evidence in the media they can point to when they run a campaign, and so on and so forth. They have to keep their special interest buddies happy, and so they're in the business of getting reelected. Not necessarily because they're bad people, but that's their business. Their job is to get reelected, and that's job number 1, job number 2, job number 3, because in their mind, unless they're elected, they can't do anything else they want to get done. The problem is when you know people who get into positions, elected positions within the Democratic Party or in the government, but they do it by selling out to the Democratic Party, is that they start to realize that if they're lucky, they'll have a couple of things they personally really care about that they might be able to advocate for. And then otherwise, they're in the business of making other people happy, and you are not the people they're trying to make happy. So here in the state of Washington, what's happening around the country most likely, but I know it's happening here, is that Trump being in the White House and the shakeup that's going on at the federal level is creating a smokescreen that people in blue dominated states are using. So the example here in our state is that our massively Democratic Party controlled state, the governor and the legislature, they're personally at the state level, they're passing a bunch of legislation that is going to greatly damage the fiscal stability, financial and fiscal stability of people who depend upon things like Medicaid. Because it's not just a federal program, it's also, there's a state level. So what they've done is they've created the disaster that they are blaming on or warning about coming from the federal government. So they've slashed funding for a whole bunch of people in our state that need that funding. And then they talk about what's going on at the federal level, and they blame that for what's actually happening right now. But the federal level changes will not even come into play until 27 and 28. And right now we're starting to feel the effects of state changes. But because the media is their ally, the media will just ignore that. And then a bunch of people are going to sit around and be like, oh, look, life is getting worse, and it's all because of what happened at the federal level. But they're so ignorant. I spent 10 years lobbying in Olympia. Okay, I have visited hundreds of senators, representatives, and staffers. I went down there every single year. And I was a member of the Democratic Party. I was the lead area caucus coordinator here on Vashon Island, which had like 2,000 people show up. In 2016, I was a chair of the budget committee. I know these people. And what I discovered, what I learned, and what I saw, y'all don't get it. So anyways, that's the video. Read more below.